So this is a little report on how my projects are progressing this year. So I've got several projects. I've got the bee thing and the bee houses, and on YouTube it never really took off, but on instructables it got about I don't know, 20,000 views in September last year. So it's pretty successful, and I'm happy that that happened. The pulsar pump project is going, I would have to say, very well at the moment. The simplest pump in the world video got me nominated for something in Austria, which they'll have the results in May, and it's called the Next Idea something or other. I've forgotten, it's in German anyway. Next Idea conference or something like that. Well, so pulsar pump, that has happened, plus a few days ago, maybe a week ago, Eileen, this is her channel, she suggested I look into the possibilities of a small one, and she called it pulsar pump nano. And anyway, I did a couple of little tests to see if it was feasible, and with 22 inches of water, which is less than 60 centimeters, I was able to pump water 13 feet, which is what is it, about 4 meters. So that went, I guess I'd have to say, better than I expected. Plus, I don't know how high it can pump. Like normal airlift pumps, if they're pumping that height, say 13 feet high, they would need, I would imagine, about 10 feet of submergence. So something with 2 feet of submergence going 13 feet high and potentially going a lot higher is could be very useful. So hopefully people will look into that. I have a little contest. There's no prizes except the Gloria being #1 on YouTube for height that you can pump with one of these little aquarium pumps. And anyway, so I'll just go through my other projects and see how the progress has been coming along. So low tech clothes dryer idea, that's only an idea, so we won't worry about that too much. Pulsar pump new video. I did a new video which is based on the thing, based fairly tightly on what I submitted, part of what I submitted for Austria. Model solar concentrator. So this, I know it looks like a real pile of garbage, but please look at it, because that's that idea took about 2 years to get to this stage, and you're not going to find, one of the problems I have is I try and do new stuff, and this is new, so you've got no reference for it. But I was thinking, how can I possibly get these things checked on? And if you have an astronomer and a physics teacher and maybe one other person, you need about it's not complicated, but I think if you have about 3 people together in a room, you'll be able to verify that it's workable. And so if anyone likes to do a little science club thing like that, it would be of great help, because currently organizations, I'm not going to say anything too bad about organizations, but I think in the past, say 4 years, whatever length of time of being on YouTube, organizations haven't, they've been more a hindrance than a help, and individuals have been outstanding. So I've been 4 years on YouTube, so Any breakthroughs I've had is thanks to people like Matt with the pulsar pump that made the first model, or the first, you know, first person to attempt it outside of me on YouTube. And there's a guy in Indonesia now has done it. And anyway, so pulsar pump's gone good. Solar is in limbo because I think solar cooking organisations are convinced that simple is the way to go, and will not look into anything that looks slightly complex. We'll go down mixing cob for sustainable building. I show a way of mixing cob. Windowfarms, yeah, Windowfarms. I'm reasonably heavily involved in that, and this is the next thing down is a model of Fresnel lens on equatorial mount, and the importance of that is that equatorial mount is the way to go. I haven't been able to convince people of that, but there's so many advantages to it, and tiny difficulty in implementing it, but it's actually, the difficulty is in people's heads. It's not a real one once you understand things a little. Power fueled water pump. So this is potential if you're making beer, making bread, or making sauerkraut, or any one of those. You'll get gas bubbles. You'll get carbon dioxide coming off, and it's just to use the pressurized carbon dioxide to help. So Eileen Verluson, that's her channel name on YouTube. She's actually working on that at the moment. I haven't been working on it lately, but that's what friends are for. Like, she's very, very helpful, and basically without her the nano pump would never have, that idea would never have gone through. So we're going down here now. What else? So this is more on the tracking solar accumulator, tracking solar, and this is about the bees. I have quite a bit on solitary bees. That's might be too arduous to look at, but if you're into saving the bees, might be worth it. So tracking solar accumulator. This is videos about the solar tracker stuff that I did. Open source, appropriate technology, more about. So I've put on lots of videos because you never know which one will strike a chord with people. So unique solar projects. So I have the tracking solar is one of my unique projects, and this is the other one. The clam shaped solar. So this basically solar design T-square and the clam shaped solar cookers. This is, I would think, one of the best things I've done. It's fairly simple, and it puts design power into the hands of people lower down the food chain of designing stuff. And I would really, really appreciate it if people looked at it and checked it out, because this indicates that things like the cook it need modifications to be quite a lot better. But no one has looked at it. It really annoys me. But if you get indications that something could be used in a slightly different way, and could be greatly improved if used in a different way, or designed just slightly different, when people don't act on it, you think, wow, are they doing their jobs? And like, I do this as a volunteer effort. I get no money for it, so I get very antsy when people ignore stuff that has the potential to help a lot of people have better lives. So if you have any type of say the panel cookers, the ones that are made of cardboard, and if there's the potential that a slight design change can make a big difference to the amount of heat that it's collecting, you know, even if it's only 5%, that's a lot. Then I think you're duty bound to look into it. And people haven't looked into this, and there it's from a year ago. And I was working on that when I had pneumonia in hospital. And that's, if I can work on it when I have bloody pneumonia in hospital, I think other people can work on it. You know, there's lots of people in Canada, States, Europe, all over, who are retired and want to give something back. Well, it doesn't need to be money, it can be time. And time is something that supposedly we have a lot of in the Western world. And this is new stuff. So you can, I've seen students that are more interested in getting grades by copying something they know that'll work than doing stuff that's new. Practically everything I have up here is pretty new. So you got to get, if you want some satisfaction in doing experimenting, you've got to challenge yourself and get out of the comfort zone and do new stuff. And even if you're afraid to go right out there like some of the stuff I did, it's more useful to the world if you picked one than anything I've done. If you pick something that you're comfortable with adding something to and just doing it and verifying it, like Matt in Cornwall, he verified my pump very well on YouTube a few years ago and made all the difference. Up until then, it was like smashing your head against a brick wall for years. So and don't believe everything that you read in books. Like this pulsar pump nano, the amount of pumping height that you're getting from such a tiny submergence, the books don't say that's possible, and that's because the books are wrong, because the books are using a different type of fluid flow than it uses. So you got to have a relatively open mind about all this stuff. Don't believe everything you read, because stuff that's written 40, 50, 60 years ago might be totally out there. Thank you. That's my update for the moment.